today I'm gonna start a series on Jenkins, and this is our very first topic, that is Jenkins overview. And even if you are a beginner to DevOps or let's say Jenkins, don't worry, we will cover everything from scratch. So let's just get started, and I hope you are excited. So before jumping right into Jenkins, I want to repeat this SDLC topic. I know every one of you might have already learned about this during your engineering. So software development life cycle is like a guidelines, or it's like some procedure you have to follow. So let's say you are building any product for your client, or you are working for some company, so you have to, it's not like you can just immediately start to implement whatever comes to your mind and you just start building your product, right? There is some guidelines you have to follow. So the first stage would be the planning part. So you will draft what is your problem statement, what are the requirements, what is the outcome you want, how you're gonna plan this. So that comes under planning. Then you go to the analysis part. So in the analysis part, you will list down all the possible tools and technology which you want to use to make your product, and you just do some POC if required. So everything is done as part of analysis. And then comes the design part. So design part is like, on paper, your architect is drafting the entire like class objects, or dependency components, what all tools you are using, how they are dependent on each other. So it's like on diagram on paper, we can say your architect is designing the uh, whole product, like how it's gonna be implemented. And then the implementation part, the actual coding, the developer will start do the implementation, start coding whatever is architect has drafted. And then now you might be using your local environment, or some ideally we use some QA and stage environment first, for the implementation, for the testing purpose. And once after testing, like unit test, integration test, everything is like working fine end to end, then you deploy your product to production, right? Now it doesn't end here. Your service, your product require end-to-end maintenance all the time. It requires some feature enhancements, some improvements. By the time there are bug fixes, performance issue, there can be n number of factor which can impact your product, so it requires some kind of maintenance also. So why I just cover this SDLC, and how is Jenkins is connected to this. So now comes to Jenkins. Let's say without Jenkins, if you have to develop a product end to end, right? So the manual workflow would be, developer will write the code. It requires manual building, testing, and then finally ask the DevOps guy to build it and deploy it to the production, right? But this whole process is manual, and it requires a lot of time, and there is a high chances of human error, right? So now, if you are using Jenkins, the build, test, and deploy part can be automated, and you can easily set up such kind of workflow. Let's say your developer comes to Git, and it is like, let's say some code is pushed to master branch or QA branch. Now you can set up a workflow. As soon as any code is pushed to master branch, just trigger this Jenkins pipeline, CI/CD pipeline, and it will do all things automatically. You don't need to even, like, there is no human involvement at all. So that's how Jenkins is very helpful. So this is one of the example I covered, and it's like mostly used for all the companies everywhere where the DevOps practice is being used. So now, to be clear, what is Jenkins in simple terms? It is open source automation server. It is used to, this is one of the use case to build, test, and deploy your software, and it automates all the repetitive DevOps tasks. So if let's say Jenkins is not there, you have to uh, work on multiple services, right? It's not like your organization will have only one service. There can be thousands of services running in your company, and there can be multiple environments also: production, stage, dev, QA. So if a DevOps engineer is doing everything manually, it requires a lot of time, and it's not feasible for scale also, right? So here the Jenkins is very helpful in terms of automate all these things. So it's kind of a robot which is doing all the repetitive boring tasks for you automatically without any involvement of DevOps or any human. So why you should learn Jenkins now? So first of all, it is heavily used in DevOps job role. So if you are already a DevOps engineer, there is no chance you have not used Jenkins at all. And it works not even with your own data center, but also compatible with all the cloud native systems like Windows, sorry, like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. Every cloud native system supports Jenkins, and it solves you already I already told, it solves a very complex setup, complex problem for you, but it is very easy to start. Like going forward, you will feel like it's very easy to learn also, and it is like a foundation topic for your advanced DevOps tools. Now, few real world use cases I will cover here. Later on in the series, we will cover more. But these are the like widely used use cases which Jenkins solves. One is if your service is in Java, Python, Node.js, you can easily build using Jenkins. You can deploy your application not on only cloud, on your own servers or Docker container also. You can automate your workflow. So let's say every git push, whenever there is a push to your git repo, then you want to automatically trigger that Jenkins workflow, which will do all this build, test and deploy thing. So that is you can do. If you want to send alerts on Slack, email, or Teams, then you can easily do this via Jenkins. Let's say you want to after every successful deployment, you want to alert on Slack channel saying this user has triggered the deployment and this is success or failure. So likewise you can send alerts. It There is a concept of plugins in Jenkins, and we will cover it later. And there is 2000 plus community plugins it supports, and which helps you to integrate with Git, Docker, Kubernetes, Maven. And Jenkins is very customizable. Let's say it's not like you want to use any default template and you can't do whatever you want. You can just write pipeline as a code, and you can customize, you can pass parameter, and whatever you want you can just write it in the stage. We will cover it. It supports freestyle, and there are multiple kinds of job: freestyle, pipeline, multi pipeline. So it supports different type of job, and you can use scripted or declarative pipeline. We will cover. Now, Jenkins is not alone in the market. There are many alternatives available. One is GitHub Actions. It's already in the as a part of GitHub. You can use the feature GitHub Actions, which does the same job. GitLab CI, Circle CI, Travis CI, Azure Pipeline, Bamboo, and TeamCity. So many few companies are use these tools also, but Jenkins is something wins over all these tools. The reason is first, it is open source and free, and it's highly flexible. Yeah, you can customize whatever you want. You can integrate it with almost every tool and technology, and it supports all the languages, tools, cloud, data center. Wherever you want to integrate, wherever you want to use it, you can easily do it. It's very straightforward, and you can use Jenkins on your local server, on your, let's say, VMs, or you can also use it inside a container as a pod. Like in Kubernetes also, you can deploy Jenkins. And there is a huge community support. If you are getting stuck anywhere, you will 90% you will get some help from the community. you can easily find the solution. And it's like a legacy now, and it's very compatible with the modern CI/CD. So I hope the Jenkins part is clear to you. I just didn't use many technical terms. I just try to explain it in very simple terms, so that even the beginner can understand it. Why exactly Jenkins and where exactly we use it. And now in the next topic we will cover, like we will try to install Jenkins on different kind of systems, Windows, Linux, Docker, and cloud also. How can we set up the Jenkins? So let's meet in the next topic. For the time, yeah. Thank you so much.